Episode 12, A Bright Future.
Oh yeah, was there no month thing for episode 12?
No, there isn't.
Shit, I didn't notice that. Well, I guess that's just even another way to say that, yeah, this is the final episode of the season, which it's kind of got mixed feelings about it because, well, obviously me being such a fan of the series is like, I just constantly want more content to kind of go through, but that's sort of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, here we are. And you're definitely not wrong there. Could end up a double-edged sword, just getting too much of what you want.
Yeah, it's like, I think you've had a good experience. By the time you finish experiencing that experience, you want more instead of being like, thank God it's over. I think that's, you can tell it's not a good experience if you're like, I'm glad that's over.
Absolutely. That is a good yardstick.
Although I guess sort of good example is that you kind of got your fill and you enjoyed what you did, but you don't want any more.
Not anymore anytime soon. And a little break and then I could take a little bit. Sort of like dessert,
Good to have every now and then, but not all the time.
Absolutely.
With that long tangent right at the very start, let's actually get on with the damn episode, shall we?
Let's do it.
We already lost all our viewers.
MVP, we might as well start there.
Okay. Well, let's see. Actually, for this one, I don't actually have a clear idea of who would MVP be. I think I'm just going to have to go and just stick with the platform of hashtag justice for Rinky. And then I'm going to have to say Rinky.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either, but even before you said that, I was going to go Rinku.
So weren't we in agreement a couple times before as MVP?
There's been a couple.
So episode 10's MVP is Shinobu Inoue. Which, did I pick this one out for episode 10?
Maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah, it is. Because episode 11 was the Christmas one. And then episode 12, which is this episode, was the countdown.
Yeah.
But I've, again, stuck to my guns and actually voted for Rinku this time. And I'll probably vote for Rinku again.
I would definitely be voting for Rinku for this one. I guess she does sort of kick off the episode and gets the ball rolling for this one.
Although, actually speaking of the start of episode, if you were paying attention, you'll notice something quite interesting at the very start. Not only we get to see this whole the island that Rinku spent most of her life on, but we get to see her parents.
Yeah.
Even though it's only briefly.
And that's a pretty big thing, I think, for this show and a lot of animes in general, is you don't really usually see parents a lot. Yeah. So that was nice. A good little touch.
I think to bring up Pokemon, for example, you only see Ash catch his mum. I don't know what happened to the father. I think he just dipped and run.
Yeah.
But the one thing I really like about that scene is the establishing shot of the scene does a really good job of telling you that. Yeah. Besides, saying, oh yeah, this island in Africa that we all know Rinku came from.
Yes.
But the establishing shot, the Dumbbell really sells it. Because for all we know, it could be just some random people that knew Rinku in Africa.
That's a good point. Sure.
And that's actually one, even though I wouldn't say I'm an expert when it comes to cinematography and that, but I think actually just the establishing shot should say all what it needs to say, everything it needs to say about a scene.
I think it does pretty well. The only thing that I would say about the establishing shot in this episode might be that if someone hasn't seen First Mix
or hasn't played the game, that it might be a little bit confusing for them, but I think the dialogue afterwards kind of clears that up.
I think so, yeah. And
actually, even looking at their mother's eyes, it's very similar to Rinky, so you should be able to make the connection there, because that's kind of like one of the basics in character design is that related characters will have similar traits.
Absolutely. And then even if that doesn't hit it home, you get other little things here and there with them bringing up the shell later in later scenes and other flashbacks and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it definitely drives it home in a couple of other ways as well.
Although a bit of interesting lore is that actually even before she went to Africa, she had a habit of going to the beach and collecting shells. So actually, how many tangents have we gone on already? I think there's actually more tangent than review today. Well, let's actually move on to your thoughts on the performance.
I think overall it was a pretty good performance. I did like the little shots where they pan away from the guys that are on stage and to the rest of the groups up in their own little sort of dancing spots. That was pretty cool.
I was just say, I don't think H&S would be happy with those, because all it takes is to go over the edge and well.
Oh, yeah. I guess the only weird thing for me in that particular scene was like the fireworks inside didn't quite make sense.
I think it's like just, again, like the use of like special effects because they have the special effects projector overhead.
That's what I was thinking it might have been.
Because I don't think it would be that pleasant having a firework go off inside a building.
No.
It'd be sort of like, well, having a bomb go off in the building.
Yes, well, basically, yes.
Well, that's basically what a firework is.
Yeah. And then, as for the song, it's definitely a good sort of straightforward feel-good song, very similar to like Celebration by Kool and the Gang, I think it is.
I think I know what you're talking about, but it's been a long time since I listened to that song.
Or September by Earth, Wind, Fire is another one that's very similar. So got that sort of...
I say that, but it's probably the most recent song I've listened to.
So definitely got that Motown, R&B, disco sort of good
Yeah, I was feeling like,
vibes.
it had a bit of a sort of a retro feel to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Although the neat thing was just before the countdown, using the shell.
Yeah.
The sound of the shell to do Beethoven's Ninth Symphony.
Which,
I think it's Ninth Symphony. I definitely know it's known as Ode to Joy. But I don't think it's the Ninth Symphony. I want to double check that. We'll just put it in post here if I was right or wrong.
But
I should know because I wouldn't say I'm an expert in classical music, but at least I know a thing or two. So I'm fairly certain. There we go. That's the right word. Certain that it is the Ninth Symphony.
That was a funny little moment. Very unexpected.
But neat.
Yeah. And definitely very representational of Rinku and her personality as well. That was funny.
Although I think there would have been some other classical pieces I would have chosen, but Ode to Joy is a pretty good choice. I think there was another one. It was either by Beethoven. I can't really remember who it was, but although the 1812 overtune would be interesting. Especially the last 5 minutes, because it is actually a 15-minute long piece.
Yes.
Although everyone knows the last 5 minutes. What other Tchaikovsky songs? Because I'm a big Tchaikovsky fan. I'm thinking the Nutcracker may work. I think it would work better than Swan Lake.
Yes, definitely. Two other things that I wanted to discuss. The pacing of this episode was very similar to episode 1, I felt. I feel that, everything was moving pretty quickly, and then kind of you brought it up when we were watching. I don't think you did it consciously, but there's like the point where they're all voting, and you sort of said, I like the idea of yay or nay. And then I sort of thought, well, everyone's saying yes. So again, there's this kind of very convenient, there was this big problem, someone gave a solution, and then just everyone said yes to it, which, again.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think that was the criticism we had early on was everyone was basically kind of like a yes man, but considering how close they are, and they kind of do sort of think on a similar wavelength, so it's kind of no surprise that it's almost basically unanimous.
Yeah.
But it'd been interesting if one or two were kind of a bit hesitant.
Yeah, or even if there was just someone else put forward another idea, they didn't. Obviously the idea is a great idea for them to do it at Alter Ego, but I'm just wondering if that could have went any other way other than just reverting back to Alter Ego again.
Yeah.
Like they did previously in the other.
It would have been interesting for them to use the Sunset stage, but I think that would have been a lot of hassle to kind of talk to school last minute.
Possibly. So, that's the other point, I guess.
But I think the Sunset stage, that's actually smaller than probably the stage at the Alter Ego. But it's also more open.
Yeah. It might be a smaller stage, but then it's an open air venue, so...
You probably even just take the scenario, I think that's just a bit below the stage. You can just have none of the people attending be there and just have the other members of the units that can't be up on the main stage perform down there. Yeah,
absolutely. That could have been another option.
Although, speaking of that scene where they were all up on stage and they just barely fit. It's like, this is probably not going to work.
Yeah, like you mentioned the point, maybe they could get more like 12 up there comfortably, which I think that could have been possible, but definitely, they made a good point when it comes to dancing. I think if they were all just musicians performing, you probably could have got 12 to 15 up there. 15 would probably be a bit of a stretch, but the fact that they're dancing and their dancing style is very energetic. Someone's probably going to get a fist in the face.
That would be fun to watch. Just to devolve into a melee.
Oh yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
But I
That
guess
would've been-
that could just be my headcanon for now. Although, what would have been interesting if they actually kind of did something like box dancing would work.
I guess so.
But I'm not sure how that would have looked.
Yeah, I guess it would have taken it in a completely different direction. Yeah, I guess the idea was that because they've got one of each unit up on stage, each person is representing their unit and their
Which,
style.
yeah, that's pretty neat. But I was kind of thinking of a solution that doesn't really need to be well used.
Yeah.
But it's more of a thought exercise. I would say, I guess we should kind of decide whether or not we should kind of actually fully tick off that one thing that we were not sure if we should tick off or not, which was, I think, a win for Happy Around. Like, I think, didn't we like full half ticket or something? I think I'm going to make the executive decision and just say, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though we're going to let the audience, kind of vote on it, I feel like I'm just going to have to make the executive decision.
For sure. Yeah. So we're definitely ticking off a win for Happy Around because I definitely think it was. And I mean, obviously a win for basically every unit,
Yeah.
I think that's a big point that they were making in this episode as well, is that,
It's a shame that Happy Grandpappy didn't appear. Damn, we could have got a bingo. It's a shame I can't just tick off Mitchiri dice in a horrific car crash. That's the one I was looking forward to so much ticking off.
But yeah, I definitely think we can tick off a win for Happy Around.
I guess the score is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 16. So that's over 50%, so not bad.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to have to make up another one for next season when that gets announced.
Yeah. So the last point that I wanted to make, Raijin, that's his name, isn't it? Yeah.
I think that's how it's pronounced, hopefully. Just let us know down in the comment section below if we're right or not.
Yes, absolutely. He definitely was a big vibe for me in this one.
Yeah, he should have got MVP, but you can't vote for him in game. I guess we could give him the title of honorary MVP.
Absolutely. I think he deserves it because, he's
I'll say Rajan always was MVP, always has been.
Yes.
Another thing to bring up is that I guess this won't be the last episode covering All Mix because we will have following up kind of wrap up where we kind of, I guess, get our final thoughts in, which may either come out next week or probably sometime within, the next month, depending if we get anything between, now and next week on a confirmed release date for the English dub. If we get nothing, we'll probably just bring it out next week and probably bring it out in a more reasonable time slot. The wrap-up will probably be more to what we regularly did with other stuff. So, yeah. Although, should we announce the other project that we're going to have coming out the pipeline to kind of fill the gap between, that as well as some other projects that I probably won't announce until we can kind of get them off the ground?
Yeah, if you want to.
Well, I guess it's sort of your domain, and I'm going to probably, let go of the reins and let you kind of be the host of that. So I guess you get to boss me around, yay. I don't think I was that harsh of a boss, except for the bit of flack I kind of gave you in my head for the editing of, I think, what episode it was, I can't even remember now.
But, the other project coming soon, I guess, will be along the same lines. It'll be a review series, but instead of reviewing D4DJ All Mix, it'll be reviewing the singles.
My question is, am I going to pre-order like I did with the third single? I would say it was a happy mistake because, yes, I'm kind of happy with the outcome, but looking back at it, I probably could have done something better with my money, but this is a company that I'm willing to kind of, put what little money I do have behind it, unlike some other company that I may or may not be doing a video related to some of the stuff they made. Mm-hmm. So keep an eye out for that. Although, actually, weren't we going to do a similar format to what you did on your channel, which I guess now you can plug your channel here?
You can go and have a look at my channel where I basically do exactly that, but I review the new release music video clips that are featured on YouTube's Video Hot List playlist.
Oh, sweet. So you do that as well?
Yes. Yeah. That's the main content at the moment. You can also find some of my music on there.
Although I guess that would be fun while covering some of the MVs in Groovy Mix, but then I realize it'd probably mean be either gushing about it or ripping it a new asshole.
I guess so.
Because I like the ones the MVs they did for the songs that were used in All Mix because they're basically just using the animation from All Mix, which I'm okay with. Mm. But They kind of use, well, basically a lot of the MVs are just basically using a whole heap of stills and just clever editing, which it's neat, but they do it so often and it just feels like it's just kind of copy and paste job. It's not a copy and paste job, but it comes off as it.
Yeah.
Because the first few MVs that I ever seen for Grieving Mix were original animated pieces like I've shown you Wish You Luck.
Yeah.
I almost said the name of another Picky song that I liked. And A Lot of Life was also really good too.
Mm-hmm.
And the Happy Around one was also good. I can't remember the name of the song. I think it was like Happy Music or something like that, but I don't think that was the song.
Yeah, that's the one. The one rule that I have is that I don't, at least on my channel, I don't. I only review actual music videos, not like visualizers or it's like photo compilations. It actually has to have a video along with the song.
Wouldn't use of animation count as like a video?
Depends how it's used. Like what you're saying, if it's just sort of stills, but then like
with like limited animations that are really just pulled from the game.
Yeah,
that's I would say by your rules a definite no, and those are the ones that I would tear into the most.
Yeah.
The ones where it's like you either using the animation from All Mix, which I guess you could actually kind of do a quick shot of anyway.
Yeah.
When we get around to doing it, if we get around to doing it, but the original animation stuff like A Lot of Life and Wish You Luck. I think it would be fun to cover those
for sure.
They're both visually impressive, in my opinion.
Did you have any other comments for episode 12?
No.
Cool.
For hashtag Justice for Rinky.
Which I think she received in this episode.
And the episode before.
Yeah, that as well. All right. Thank you for joining us for the last episode of this D4DJ All Mix review series.
Well, the last episode actually reviewing the last episode.
Yes. So keep your eyes peeled for a special 13th episode, sort of.
Which is like, sort of either wrap up covering the English dub. Well, I guess it would be a wrap up if we do bring it out before the English dub, but then probably do one kind of quick one covering the English dub.
So you can check out the video description for links to all the social media accounts. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below as well of episode 12. Do you think it was a good ending for the series?
Which I think it's obvious my answer is yes. Although the song from the previous episode would have also worked pretty well too. Not as well as the song that used in this episode, but it would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign off here. So, bonjour.
See you next time.